The Giants pull the trigger on a quarterback change. The Jets getting ready for the Patriots, and a preview of all this week's game. The Manchild Show with Boy Green, live, digital, starts right now.
Let's go! It's time for the talk to you. 'Cause when it's born, it's always gonna do. If Boy Green is always on the scene, it was gonna always bring to life again. So get ready, get ready, 'cause here they come.
Back for another live one today on a Wednesday. Man, I kind of like being right, actually. I was going to say, it's not always great to be right. You know what? I like being right. I mean, man, we have been all over this Giants story this week. First, we pop on in our Monday live, and Boy Green and I get into a conversation about the Giants, and I say to him, you know what, Boy Green, I'm feeling a little different this morning about our coach. I think they need to fire him right away. And he's like, like now? Like today? And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time. Because I was PO'd about Jackson Dart getting concussed, right?
Yeah.
And then, what happens? Like less than an hour after we finish up that show, he gets fired. In that conversation, I say they're going to name Kafka the interim. They do. Check 2. All right.
Yep.
Then I come out and say, and by the way, as soon as Kafka is installed, we do our live show after we find out the Dable firing. I said, the first thing Mike Kafka needs to do is make sure that Jameis Winston is quarterbacking the team this week, because we know Dart's likely not going to play because of concussion protocol, right? So if he's not available, Winston has to start, not Russell Wilson. It's not the end-all be-all. It's not sending us to the Super Bowl, but you have to make that change right away. What does he do? He makes that change. So it's been like, check. All right?
So do you have the lotto numbers or something today for us?
I should play the lotto. All right. Well, let's find out what Dalton Wasserman from PFF, our NFL insider, thinks about all this stuff. And was he playing from the same playbook as me? By the way, today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Box Drop Syracuse. Dalton Wasserman, welcome aboard. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. What an eventful week that just happened, and now we got a lot of big games coming this week and a lot of big storylines for sure. It's going to be fun.
What did you think about the firing of Brian Dable? Let's get right to it.
My first impression was that this wasn't too much of a surprise, considering a lot of John Mara's comments in the offseason about just wanting to win more games regardless of how they got there. That wasn't necessarily a playoff mandate by any means, but he wanted this team to look at least better than it has the last 2 years. For a bit, they did, obviously, with Cam Scatterbo healthy, with Jackson Dart healthy, and the run game getting going for a while. But this team, at the end of the day, just hasn't played up to its talent level, even without a Scatterbo, right? The defense doesn't look all that great, as good as it should. And then obviously Jackson Dart and the injury concerns, I think John Mara just really felt like a change in leadership was needed, and trying to win more games in the future with Jackson Dart as the quarterback.
And now a quarterback change. Famous Jameis Winston. Eat your W's wherever you follow those rules. He's the quarterback. What kind of changes are you expecting with Jameis Winston in for the Giants, and also Mike Kafka running the operation?
I mean, at the end of the day, Jameis, it might be a roller coaster, both on the high side and the low, but he's going to give you a chance, right? He's going to go out there and let it rip downfield, and whether it's a touchdown one play or an interception the next, or possibly a little bit of both throughout the course of the game, he's going to at least go out there and compete. And it felt like Russell Wilson, outside of the Dallas game, was really gun-shy, right? You even saw it in just one quarter of action this past week against the Bears. You'd probably sit there and tell yourself, you know what, if Jackson Dart's in that game, we probably finish it off and win it. But Russell Wilson, between being gun-shy in the pocket, and then just the fact that he's not a rushing threat. I'm not saying that Jameis is, but the fact that Russ isn't a rushing threat and he's not throwing the football well, it really takes everything away from the offense. So I think at least with Jameis, you're going to get him as a fearless competitor in there, firing the ball down the field, because Russell got really gun-shy outside of the Dallas game.
We like fearless. Fearless is good. Do you think that the Giants' defensive coordinator position is safe now that the head coach has been let go? Or how do you think Mike Kafka should handle this situation?
I think Shane Bowen probably stays in place for the rest of the year, right? I mean, what are more changes going to do to a team that's already got only 2 wins on the season, right? We know where this is going. Maybe they win a couple more games down the stretch here, and their defense isn't playing up to their full talent level right now, especially in the back seven. But I don't think sweeping changes are really all that necessary right this minute because they're going to come in the offseason anyway, right? It's going to be a new head coach and a whole new coaching staff. So I think you're going to see it pretty settled in for now, and they're just going to ride out the last 7-8 games as they are.
Now, we talked about a lot of potential candidates. We did a couple weeks ago because, to your point, this Brian Dable being fired news wasn't surprising necessarily. But there's a name we didn't discuss that after the show, there was some buzz about on social media. Matt Schneidman, who covers the Green Bay Packers for The Athletic, said that Matt LaFleur could be coaching for his job the rest of the season. And that would be a wildly successful, wildly attractive candidate, I would imagine, that me and Manchild have not discussed yet. Do you agree with that athletic reporting that Matt LaFleur could be on his way out if things don't change? And if so, it sounds like he'd be one of those guys that doesn't have a job for 3 seconds.
I don't know. It sure would feel like that would start with the Packers missing the playoffs, and I still don't think they're going to miss the playoffs despite the rough performances the last couple weeks. They got a really good football team, and they're at least going to scratch and claw, I think, their way at least to a wild card there. I think LaFleur maybe could be interesting in that scenario. I think Kevin Stefanski's a really interesting name for the Browns, considering now he's given up play calling a second time, and it doesn't seem like things are great there in Cleveland, obviously. And then you have some interesting names. I know Bill Belichick has even been brought up and how tight he is with the Giants organization and with John Mara. So it's going to be an interesting search, but at the end of the day, it has to be about the development of Jackson Dart in this offense.
We'll see. After the Giants give him a little beatdown at MetLife, a newly inspired Giants playing the Packers this week, perhaps LaFleur will slip right into our little fingers here. I would definitely take Matt LaFleur. I think he's a terrific football coach. So if he becomes available, absolutely. Our Giants insider has mentioned this a couple times, Dalton. So let me ask you about it. He said at the very top of his list, and this is, again, another guy that's not available, but the Baltimore Ravens are in the midst of a somewhat bad season. Many believe they can get back in it and even win their division. We'll see. They got a lot of tough games still in front of their schedule, even with more of their players coming back from injury. But if John Harbaugh became available, does that make sense to you? And do you think the Giants would be a good fit?
Yeah, I mean, he's an excellent coach. I think he'd be a good fit just about anywhere. We see how long he's been doing it. And it's not just with Lamar Jackson as his quarterback all those years. I mean, you got to remember John Harbaugh is a Super Bowl winning coach back in the day with Joe Flacco as his quarterback, and he has winning seasons almost every year that he's been a head coach. So it would be a great fit, but honestly, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think the Ravens are now starting to surge. I think their defense is getting it back together. Obviously, they got Lamar Jackson back healthy. I think they're going to win that division, to be honest with you, the way the rest of it looks. And he's gonna chalk this year up to, okay, we had some early injuries and early struggles. And look, at the end of the day, if you have Lamar Jackson healthy, the Ravens do have a shot to win the AFC. They just got to win enough games to get there. I don't think Harbaugh's going anywhere.
All right, Dalton, you're a believer. Go ahead, Boy Green.
Yeah, there's a lot of great games on the slate here in Week 11, which should be juicy, but I'd be remiss if I didn't start with the one that kicks off Week 11, baby. New York Jets, New England Patriots, 2 of the hottest teams in football. Jets have won 2 in a row. The Patriots have won 7 in a row. What chances are you giving to my New York Jets and our New York Jets, Dalton Wasserman, to take out New England at the knees in Foxborough in front of the national audience?
I'm not giving them a whole lot. I think, you're talking about the Patriots in a different category when it comes to, different than the Browns or the Bengals and the way those two teams are playing right now. I don't think the Jets are going to get 2 special teams touchdowns again this week. I don't usually see that 2 games in a row. But no, I mean, and the toughest part of it all is the Jets have won these couple of games. Now, Justin Fields was good against the Bengals a couple weeks ago, but he's got under 60 passing yards in 3 of his last 4 games. And if you're one-dimensional, it's going to be very hard to beat a team like New England, especially one with as good a run defense as New England has. And then on the offensive side, they just keep getting better and better offensively each week. Now they've got some of the young guys going like Travion Henderson and Kyle Williams. I think New England just has a little bit too much to handle there in a big moment in Foxborough. I think they're one of the best teams in the league.
And Dalton, real quick follow-up here. So you mentioned Justin Fields. Okay, sure. He's had 3 or 4 games this year where he's had under 60 yards passing. Not great, Bob. Not great. However, we may have discovered a pattern here. So week 1, Justin Fields has a great game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 4 against the Miami Dolphins, very nice game on Monday Night Football. Week 8, The Bengals game. All right. He has a pretty good game. It looks like basically every 3.5 weeks he's due. It's week 11. It looks about 3.5 weeks. Justin is sort of due for another one of those games. Don't watch him. Yeah.
I would just love you to tell me who he's going to do that with out there at receiver without Garrett Wilson, because I mean, even with Garrett Wilson, it looked a little bit ugly. But I mean, it really feels like Justin Fields and Breece Hall against the world right now with the lack of threats on the outside there. And I mean, even A.D. Mitchell being inactive this past week, who knows if he'll be playing this Thursday. So I mean, that's great if he goes out there and throws for even 250 is a high number for him right now with that receiving core. Then more power to him. But it's going to be a tough bet this week. It just especially without Garrett Wilson.
Dalton, it's a must bounce back week for the Buffalo Bills, who obviously went down in epic fashion to the Miami Dolphins. What the heck happened? And they're not going to have an easy week. It's in Buffalo. Good for them. At least they're returning home. But it'll be against Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield. Give me your thoughts on that matchup and how important is this game to Buffalo's season?
I think very important. They got some tough games coming down the stretch. And look, they're trying to keep. They're a team trying to keep up with New England in this division race. And New England, I believe, has the easiest remaining schedule in football, right? So I think when you're looking at the Bills trying to win this division, this is a huge game for them. And to bounce back in a game where against the Dolphins, really all of their biggest flaws were exposed. And what are those flaws? A lack of a number one receiver that can get himself open in big situations. And the back seven of their defense just still isn't that good. The linebacker level is really struggling. The secondary giving up big plays in that game to Jalen Waddle. So I think when you look at the Bills' flaws, it's the same as they've had in past years. They're just showing up earlier now. They're showing up in the regular season, and there's only so much that Josh Allen and James Cook can carry you through, because those two guys didn't play their best game on Sunday, and they end up losing to a team like the Dolphins. So the Bills really have some fundamental issues with their team, and they're trying to work through it week to week.
All right, let's highlight some of the best games of Week 11 here. We already did one of the creme de la creme jewels and Jets Patriots, obviously. But there's some other ones here on the slate, Dalton Wasserman, including the Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are in third place, a unusual place for them in the AFC West. Broncos lead the division at 8-2. This feels like a absolutely massive game for all the marbles on the line, both for Denver, who could create massive separation in their attempt to stop the Chiefs' 10-year winning streak in the division, but also for the Chiefs to continue to stay relevant. They're outside of the playoff picture right now. Another loss will only put them further so.
Yeah, I still believe in the Chiefs, obviously, as a playoff team. I think, what is it, the one team ahead of them is Jacksonville, and I know they have the tiebreaker, but I think the Chiefs are better than Jacksonville. This is the game where if the Chiefs want to win the AFC West, if they want to pull back and get into first place, they have to win this game, because otherwise you're 4 games back and you already have a loss to Denver. It's going to be really hard to make up that difference. But to me, also within this game, it's about Bo Nix, really. And the Broncos, look, they're 8-2. They've won a lot of close games, and Bo Nix really has been a roller coaster. You can get one half of him playing terribly. You can get another half or a quarter of him playing great and find a way to win. The offense on the whole last week against Las Vegas was just awful. I mean, on both sides in that game, it was just an ugly football game. So I think it's about Bo Nix versus Steve Spagnuolo and whether Bo's going to come through in this big spot against a Chiefs team that still has arguably the best secondary in football.
Dalton, another great one in L.A., the Rams against Seattle. We've got 2 MVP candidates, for crying out loud. Matthew Stafford, I think I'd give him my vote right now, perhaps, for MVP if I was going to go quarterback. And Sam Darnold nipping at his heels, really getting the most out of those receivers. Boy Green's once a love of his life. Give me some thoughts here on that matchup and how you think it's going to play out. Again, it's in L.A., so Seattle, who will be an underdog in this game, will have to go on the road and get this one if they want to get it.
2 spectacular football teams with a ton of star power on both sides, right? You just mentioned it. Stafford and Darnold, both MVP candidates, both throwing the ball extremely well. Loaded receiving course. Jackson Smith and Jigba on one side, Puka Nacua on the other side, amongst a bunch of other guys in this game. I think a big difference is going to be in the trenches. And you remember last year, Sam Darnold was 0-2 against this same Rams team with Jared Verse and this defensive line breathing down his neck. The Rams D-line has only gotten better this year with guys like Byron Young and Kobe Turner and Poona Ford stepping up this season. It might be the best D-line in football right now. And Seattle's offensive line, as young as they are, and they're a little bit banged up on the inside, still a little bit of a question mark for me in a specific matchup like this. Most weeks, they're playing good enough, and Sam Darnold's getting rid of the ball quicker than ever. But I think that trench matchup might lean a little bit more towards the Rams on that side of the ball. That might be the difference in the game.
Let's go to Sunday Night Football, baby. The 6-3 Detroit Lions, the 7-2 Philadelphia Eagles, the cream of the crop. They're in the NFC, and this could have a massive implications later because for the number 1 seed, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. This one looms large here, Dalton.
And before you answer it, Dalton, I'm going to tell you this when we get to our NFL picks. This game will be a beatdown. Now go ahead, comment.
Oh, well, beatdown. Which way? Are you going to give that away?
Let's get your take first. Let's hear what you have to say first.
Not to influence. Okay.
Don't want to steal your thunder here.
I don't know about a beatdown. I wonder if that's a little bit of your Eagles hate coming out there. I wonder if you're leaning towards Detroit as the Giants fan you are. But I think you're going to get a fantastic football game. I mean, the Eagles defense is still very real. You saw that against Green Bay on Monday. Now the offense kind of comes and goes this year, and they got to figure out how in the world to get the ball to A.J. Brown and how to get him energized for some of these games. But I think the big factor here is Detroit's defense, right? And we're seeing them get healthy again. They're a lot healthier than last year. Obviously, you got stars on that side like Aiden Hutchinson and Jack Campbell. Can their defense this time around, as healthy as it is, can they stop the run first and foremost with Saquon Barkley? If you can do that and you make the Eagles one-dimensional, make them throw the football this year, that's been a recipe for success, and they've kind of stagnated from there. So I really think this is a big prove-it game for the Lions defense and just in general going on the road and getting this big win.
Yeah,
go ahead, Lurch.
I think the Lions are going to beat them down seriously, man. This Eagles team, that record is fool's gold. They are not playing great football. They are not. And anybody that I know, Thursday night games, whatever, Sunday night games. They just don't look whole. And when they don't even involve A.J. Brown in the game plan, what are they doing? I don't even understand it. They're playing it so conservative and so close to the vest. And the reason I think this is going to be a beatdown is not just because I hate the Eagles. I do. Self-admitted. All right. But what I see here is, number one, they've lost the ability to use Saquon Barkley property. They don't know what they're doing anymore with Saquon. They're back doing what the Giants did with Saquon. They just, they're not utilizing him right. They're not getting him in space. They're not doing things. They're not using him enough. Okay, they have lost the ability now to get A.J. Brown the ball. I don't know what's going on there. Anybody that has him in fantasy is right now thinking about sitting him on the bench this week. He's been playing so poorly. Okay, there you go. Victim right there. All right. And I just think that Detroit is, as you said, they're getting righter and righter. Dan Campbell, I don't know if people have heard, is now calling the plays. He has taken over play calling, and Dan Campbell looked pretty darn good last week as a play caller, getting Jahmyr Gibbs the ball all over the field. All right. I feel like the Lions are starting to get it together. Like they're getting that momentum that they're going to need to do some real damage in the playoffs. Obviously, last year was a big disappointment. I just see the Lions getting – I think the Eagles are there to get got, and I think they're going to get got this weekend. My opinion.
I really think – I don't know about a beatdown because, like you said, the Eagles play it so close to the vest, but I do think you make a great point really on the A.J. Brown part of this. And it's not just, they're not getting him the ball, he's not separating. It's that there feels like an intangible problem, right? And there's a lot of story. I mean, it's been going back to last year since he was reading his book on the sideline and doing all that. It feels like that same vibe where he's just half kind of checked out. I think there was even some plays against Green Bay this past week where it felt like mentally he just wasn't all the way in it, and the frustration was starting to boil over, right? And it doesn't boil over in anger with him. He usually gets kind of quiet and just kind of shuts down a bit there. So I'm worried about that long term, even if it's not just this week. Long term and going into the postseason, they can't win a Super Bowl without A.J. Brown being A.J. Brown. Right now, he's not. I don't know if that's just the offense or just him or a little bit of both or what, but I think that's a major problem, is even the intangibles of what's going on around that.
It's the Manchild, it's Boy Green, it's Dalton Wasserman, a PFF. What, Boy Green? Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick before we move on, you said, the Eagles record, a little fugazi. What about the Lions? Who the hell have they beat? I've got their schedule in front of me. Like, come on, man. They've beaten the Bears, a beat-up Ravens team, the Browns, the Bengals, the Washington Commanders. Like, come on, man.
They can't help their schedule. They're winning the games they should win.
Give me
this is the beginning of them showing who they really are. They're going to flex their muscles. I am ready to get on the bandwagon. This is the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. It's the Detroit Lions. I'm going to wear my hat tomorrow on the show. Okay, I'm putting on my Detroit Lion hat tomorrow. I got one, Boy Green, all right? And I got a Jahmyr Gibbs t-shirt, and the damn guy changed his number, so I can't even wear it out in public anymore. So it's number 26. What is he wearing, number 1 now or something?
I believe it's 0.
Yeah. Okay. Went from 26 to 0. Now I can't even wear that thing. People are like, what are you wearing? Gibbs wears 0. Look like an idiot. All right. Anyway, today's broadcast is brought to you by our friends at Box Drop Syracuse. Let's take a brief snooze, and then we'll come back. Look at these mattresses, these sofas, these wonderful things. And you'll see me. I'm taking a snooze in this commercial. Be right back. Considering that we sleep nearly 1/3 of our lives, buying the right mattress is essential. At Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofa Outlet, you'll get a unique experience, one that saves you 30 to 70% off retail prices on top-of-the-line mattresses like Sapphire Sleep. At Box Drop, you'll schedule a mattress fitting appointment and get one-on-one service directly with Paul, the owner. No middleman. Family-owned, huge savings, no-pressure sales designed to save you time and money. And now Box Drop Syracuse has sectional sofas and love seats as well, with prices designed to fit your budget. Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofas. Set up your appointment today at boxdropsyracuse.com. All right, we are back. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital. Hit that like button and don't forget subscribe. Be a subscriber and you can get in the club. We're giving away a $400 golf club courtesy of our friends at Box Drop Syracuse. All right, we're with Dalton Wasserman. As always, our live Wednesday show, we kick it off with Inside the NFL from PFF. Dalton, an injury of note that I want to get to, and that is Travis Hunter. Everybody was looking forward to Travis Hunter coming into the league, making a big splash, playing on both sides of the ball. A lot of people were worried that body wouldn't hold up, and as fate would have it, it didn't hold up. Looks like he's going to be lost for most of the rest of the season. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, obviously, as exciting a player and as unique a player as he is. And he was really the biggest reason for excitement for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. They won some games early. They got off to a good start. But it's just really deflating, I think. And when you look at the workload, it's really more of a shame that it didn't even happen in a game. It was in practice, right, that this occurred, I think, on a Wednesday or Thursday. So, I mean, you just look at it, yeah, it's a grind, and it's something that, look, just happens to a lot of guys around the league. Sometimes you just suffer these unfortunate injuries. He usually got maybe a little bit banged up when he was at Colorado within the course of the game, but never a major injury like that. So it really just sucks to see for one of the most unique talents in the NFL and a guy who was really supposed to usher in a new era for the Jags and their team and their franchise, right, as far as trying to win ball games and a new coaching staff, new GM, everything like that. So it's unfortunate we don't get to see him the rest of the year because he's such a dynamic talent.
So, Dalton, is this one of the worst trades ever? You know, the Jaguars give up this entire treasure chest to move up. They say, oh, he's going to be the Shohei Ohtani of the NFL, and he stunk. He didn't do anything this year.
I mean, it's just the injury is what it is, right? That's the unfortunate part, and really more so than any lack of talent or any sort of lack of production, because I think his lack of production offensively especially, I thought was just the role that they were putting him in wasn't quite right. They needed to use him vertically more. But no, I mean, to not have that guy and he's out injured, that's just, it's unfortunate, right? I mean, that's a guy you're really looking to center your team around and the two-way bit. So, I mean, we can't call him a bust. We can't call a trade the loss yet until probably, 3 years in or something like that when we really see, okay, if he doesn't produce by then you start talking about, all right, this is a real problem and they lost this trade. They're going to have to reset this franchise again. But that's inconclusive, especially with it being an injury that was the cause of losing the rest of the year.
Dalton, another injury out in Arizona has created an interesting situation. I mean, we have seen quarterbacks in the NFL get rebirthed. We saw it with Geno Smith a few years ago. Are we seeing it with Jacoby Brissett? That guy looks pretty darn good pitching it out there for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, he looks solid. I mean, I think Brissett has always ridden that line, right, of high-end backup or low-end starter, right? And that's kind of what he's doing right now. He goes in there. He's got solid weapons like Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. I don't think he's going to be, having the big MVP-type resurgence that a Sam Darnold or a Daniel Jones is having. But Brissett's always been a guy who's been good to have in the locker room, good to have a few spot starts in here. And this year it looks like he's going to start the rest of the season for the Cardinals. I don't think he's their biggest problem right now. The defense hasn't lived up. They can't run the ball very well because they got practice squad running backs out there. But look, Brissett's going to keep making money for a long time if he keeps playing like this.
And let's stay in Arizona. Kyler Murray's future very much murky to the Jacoby Brissett point. And there have been a lot of reports from NFL Network and ESPN that a parting of ways is quote unquote inevitable, whether that comes by hook or crook, cut or trade. Whatever you would like to respond to that. And also, if any of that is true, what's the best landing spot for Kyler Murray in 2026?
I do think it's true. I think there's a split coming. I think it's very possible that you see the Cardinals attack the quarterback position in this coming draft with some of the guys that are coming out of college right now. A landing spot is hard to tell because Kyler, for the last year and a half, outside of a couple of flashes, he really hasn't played very well. The injuries racking up are a real problem. I think he's going to end up having to go somewhere where he might have to compete for the job, right? Or he might have to, take that bridge quarterback kind of role. I just don't think he's looked very good this year. He hasn't attacked downfield. He's really struggled from the pocket. Now he's got athleticism, and if you run a system where the quarterback run game is still a part of it, then I think that can be something that that can be productive for you with Kyler Murray as the starter. But I think he's going to have a hard time locking down a surefire starting job this offseason.
Interesting pickup by the Steelers, Asante Samuel, who had some serious medical issues and now has been cleared to play. Tell us about what's been going on with this young man, and is he a guy that down the road here we should be looking out for in terms of becoming a primetime player in the NFL?
And just to jump in here, Asante Samuel Jr., I don't think his 48-year-old father is coming out of retirement to play for the Steelers. So just want to put that out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, Samuel's a good player when healthy. He's got experience inside and outside in the secondary, so he can really help the Steelers either way there. And I know they've got Jalen Ramsey on the inside. So, and Darius Slay just suffered an injury in their last game. So I think just looking for more help on defense and coverage. They've been struggling, especially with the man-to-man coverage there in Pittsburgh. And he can be a good player if he's healthy. I know he had surgery in the offseason. He really wanted to wait until he was 100% to sign somewhere as opposed to kind of being locked in. And then you get into the season and see who needs help and what kind of winning team he can go to. Still a young player with a lot of talent that I think can help them. They're looking for depth at that cornerback spot, and that Steelers, they're just looking to make an inconsistent defense a little bit better.
Dalton, let me wrap up here by saying, let us know what the hell is going on at PFF, baby, Pro Football Focus. You're over there at the headquarters. We love it when you can give us a plug on all the great stuff you guys have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, PFF.com for all of our great stuff from our writers and all the content they have on the written side. We've got betting analysis, fantasy analysis, NFL, college, all of that. And on YouTube, I'm about to go on the PFF NFL show to preview every game this week at 1 o'clock today. And then, as always, we've got the stretch run of college football. We have the PFF College Football Show on YouTube, myself and Max Chadwick breaking all that down with only 3 regular season weeks remaining in college football. Getting exciting here down the stretch.
I might crash and burn, Dalton. But I've got 2 blockbusters this weekend that I'm hanging my hat on. Giants beat the Packers outright, don't even need the points, and the Lions blow out Philly. Let's see if either or both of those things happen this weekend. I'm sticking my neck out, hot take city, whatever you want to call it. Dalton, as always, great to have you, buddy. We'll talk to you again next week.
Appreciate you guys as always. Thank you.
All right, there you go. I think my Giants are going to be energized with Jameis at quarterback. I think that he's going to lead this group of men. I think Kafka is going to have a chance here to inject a little energy into the squad, Boy Green. I see a strange thing happening here. Maybe I'm just a little too, blue-colored glasses. I don't know. And that Lions thing, I've seen that coming. I don't like what's going down in Philly. And I know the record says otherwise, and they're running away with that division, but something's wrong in Philly. That team is not right. I don't think they win in another Super Bowl, and I just think they're going to get unmasked here. Remember a couple of years ago how they got off to that unbelievable start? We were like, oh, the Eagles.
10-1, yeah.
Collapsed.
Yeah.
All right? I don't know if it's going to be that kind of epic collapse, but I think they're going to lose some games here down the back end, and they're going to get unmasked a little bit, and there's going to be a little bit of that, Sirianni, what's up with him? There's always that grumbling about that guy. It's just, Philly fans are tough, man. They're tough.
It is a tough market, and since you're going out on your neck to say all that, I'll go out on my neck, and I'm predicting an upset. The Jets are taking out the Patriots tomorrow night.
Who wanna fly with the
We're not going to see a lot of that in recent days.
Yeah, so we're going to see it. 3 games.
Again, man. Gloat while you can. It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Lurch, they're 2 of the hottest teams in football, right? The
Listen,
Jets won 2 in a row. Patriots won 7 in a row.
A couple of weeks ago, you were a laughingstock. Now you're just hanging out with the rest of us as bottom feeders,
Hey, and look at us stacking wins.
Right?
So
Giants have 2 wins. The Jets have 2 wins, right?
Well, yeah, but when you look at the draft, Tankathon, you guys are a little higher. Depending on where you place. Yeah, which is great. We're gonna we're going. We're on the road to 10-7.
You just ride that wave, baby. We're gonna ride that wave right to the bottom of the ocean.
There you go. Beautiful.
There you go. Nowhere this year. let's just fly with Jameis the rest of the year. And we'll just
that'd be fun.
We'll put Dart in some bubble wrap and keep him safe.
Yeah.
Well, I've been seeing some things popping up in the comments, Boy Green. So let's jump on over. Let
Sure.
all of our wonderful interactors get their say here. So I'll just go right to the top of the list.
Yeah.
All right. We got Jamie, the FedEx guy. First, he jumps in with Brian Flores or Matt LaFleur, next Giants head coach. And go Breece Hall. He's got Breece Hall on his fantasy team Thursday Night Football. I don't know what else the Jets could do besides go Breece Hall, unless Justin Fields has one of those crazy, 150 to 200-yard rushing games, which seem to pop now and then in the NFL, where he's gotten loose. Hasn't gotten loose yet, really, for the Jets. He's due for one of those big, crazy, fantasy, nutty games where he runs 2 touchdowns and rushes for 140 yards or something. I wouldn't put that past Justin Fields on any given night. And Breece Hall will be their primary, if not sole weapon.
They have no other choice.
I guess they'll find Mason Taylor out there. And,
maybe.
Try and find one of those receivers to catch a ball or two. But, I think Breece Hall, it's going to be like Bugs Bunny, Breece Hall everywhere. He's getting a screen pass. Breece Hall's running on – he's in the slot. Breece Hall's getting a handoff. He's running the tush push, whatever. It's Breece Hall everywhere. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I would say yes, because they have no other choice. So congrats for Breece Hall. But to answer the other part of Jamie's question here, again, we talked about Matt LaFleur earlier. We'll see if he gets let go. Brian Flores, again, is a New York guy. If you look at his roots, that's why there's a lot of connective tissue to the Jets. So it would totally make sense on the other side of town going to the New York Giants. He's been a head coach before. He's had success. Again, the problem with Flores, and it was a problem for me in the process, it would be for anyone that hires him, is that the player relationship, and that tanked with his quarterback Tua. Now, maybe he was right and Tua's terrible, but that head coach quarterback relationship has to be so good. You have to be being a head coach. There's so much other stuff we never talk about being a head coach. You have to be the PR guy. You have to be the relationship guy. You have to wear all these different hats, and Flores failed miserably. But sometimes, Lurch, you talked about this on the Monday show, you can learn from past mistakes and get another chance. Lane Kiffin was awful as a head coach the first time. Maybe he's going to get a second chance. Brian Flores had some wins with the Dolphins, but some things tanked the other way. Maybe another opportunity will shed light on the proper way. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. The only thing is, the old schooler John Mara. The Giants still have kind of that old school kind of philosophy.
Of course. Yeah.
And I just don't know, again, with the lawsuit and everything that
which
went
is still
on,
pending, by the way.
Does he want to get involved? Does he want to get involved with this guy? It's not about what he is as a coach. It's some of that other stuff and whether you want to get involved in that. So, the Giants are such a conservative organization. I don't know that they go that route. They're not one to go for lightning rod type guys. They're just not.
Also, here's the other thing, and I wanted to make sure I had this correct before I just spoke out of term. But there was an entire thing between Brian Flores and the team. And Brian, when he interviewed previously, he alleged in the lawsuit that the Giants engaged in a, quote, sham interview process in January in an effort to fulfill the Rooney Rule, and that their intentions weren't clear. The Giants responded very loudly that Brian Flores' accusations were disturbing and simply false. So for all those reasons, it's very unlikely. They're the same ownership group. I don't
basically called them out. Now they're going to go back in the next opportunity they get a chance. They're going to hire you. That's just not happening. Jamie also jumping in with this one, Boy Green. I'm sorry to rain on your parade, but he says, Boy Green, nice to see you recovered from that beatdown I gave you. He's talking about fantasy football, Boy Green. Ooh,
hey, I'll pull it up here and people can see it themselves.
Not good at all.
I had some really
weeks, man.
I've had some great success this season. I have a respectable record in all of our leagues. I'm not in some terrible position, but no, I have had some bad things happen. I'm currently on a 2-game losing streak, which is not good. And it was 163-80 is what just occurred in the Champs League. And I haven't scored many. As a matter of fact, I just double checked. I have not had a single week under 100 fantasy points this entire season until I faced Jamie. So you beat me with the rake, and good for you, Jamie. You need it. And he was texting me throughout the week as he does.
Oh, did he need that win badly? Yeah.
To talk trash. But that was one of the things he said. Come on, Paul. You can afford to lose a game. Come on, man. I need it. And I'm like, I don't care what you need. Like, I need to do this. And here's a double dip, right? So in the Chumps League, I faced my fiance in the same house. And I have Jonathan Taylor, and he scores 50 points. that obviously I'm going to win that one. Well, I lost by like 0.01 points or something in the Chumps League to her on all the craziness. Saquon Barkley, I had Saquon Barkley, and I think she had the Eagles defense, and it looked like I had won. There's like 2 minutes left or something. I'm like, woohoo! Thank God I beat my fiance, and something happened, like a sack on the final drive.
Oh
Or
God,
something.
the
It
loss
flipped.
of points.
Yeah, and it lost of points. Boom, I lose. And I'm like, oh, how devastating. She needed it badly too, but I don't care. I want all the wins. I'm selfish. I'm greedy. So, yeah, it didn't work out. But, Jamie, congrats to you, pal.
Yeah, he's very, very greedy. You can't get away with that with Paul.
Yeah.
And yeah, our league in general, a lot of beatdowns this week, Paul. I mean, it was across the board, not many close ones. I battled the last place team, 167 to 106. That's not close.
Jeez,
all right. America's team, which is our friend Brandon. 144 to 115.
Ooh,
okay, that's not very close. Jamie, as you mentioned, 163 to 80.
What about Joe Bartle?
Joe Bartle, all right, 170 to 105. Bartle put up a 170 burger, would have beaten anybody in the league last week with his 170. Of course, he had that massive game from Jonathan Taylor. That thing's been brewing all year. Finally, Taylor, who's been great, went crazy off with 3 touchdowns, I think, in that game. Our 10th place team, Choptimus Prime, made prime rib out of Jabber's wing sauces.
Nice.
142 to 127. That would be considered a close battle this week compared to what the others have done. And Brian Drake, a pretty good beatdown of our friend Mark. Don't cut them a cord. 124 to 85. So nothing coming down to the wire. There was no action on Monday Night Football to go like, oh, hey, let's see what happens. Everybody was asleep in their beds at 10:30, not worrying about the second half of Monday Night Football because it was nothing but a series of beatdowns in the Champs League. And
well,
by the way, Boy Green, our first battle of the season.
Oh, boy.
This week, brother. Me and you, mano a mano, baby. I am ready. You're not feeling too good about that.
Well, I'm normally in a very braggadocious mood, but I just took a gander. You're in first place in our league. You have a 2-game gap in straight up wins over everybody.
Second,
and you have
third, and fourth place all lost this past week while I won. So that was fantastic. I was like, yeah, baby.
And you have the most points in the league. So you have 1,400 points. So even if we were tied, you, not with just me, anyone, you would be beating them. But also you have a 2-game gap. And then you start looking at the schedule here, Lurch. We only have 4 weeks left in the fantasy football regular season. So, and you have a 2-game gap. If you're Manchild, which you are, you got to be feeling pretty gosh darn good. Yeah. And again, if you're just one of the top 2 seeds, so we have 12 teams that make it that are in our league. 6 makes the playoffs. Top 2 get a bye. So you're in great position there, Manchild. Unfortunately for me, so hopefully I could take you out at the knees. That's a big key. Although if you're a projection guy. Here in week 11, I'm projected to get smacked. You're projected to score 143 points. I'm projected to score 118. So it doesn't look good.
Yeah, but projections are projections. They don't mean all that much. Hey, I got to step off camera just for a second, Boy Green. So handle the fort there. Take another comment or two. Right. I will be right back. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Yes. Let's get right into it. I'll continue to answer all of your questions and comments here on the show. So let's go. Make sure you guys like the video, by the way, hit subscribe. And whether you're watching on my channel or the MC Show digital channel, we appreciate it all the same. Again, we're giving away a $400 golf club, everybody. All you have to do is subscribe to that channel on your screen, youtube.com/MC Show Digital. We're streaming live on my YouTube channel, @BoyGreen25, my Twitter, @BoyGreen25. So you just have to jump over to this YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It is free to do, and you'll have a chance to win that golf club, whether it's for yourself or for the holidays, and we will send it to you if you live far away. All right, let's get to a couple comments here. Badshaw. Jets need to stay away from Kyler Murray this offseason. Too little for the NFL. I mean, it's not even the verticality thing for me, but sure, that's another thing. He just hasn't won consistently. He's been in Arizona for like 7 years, and they have 1 playoff appearance, and he's just been too wildly inconsistent. So I'm sure I'll cover this for heavy in an article. Benjamin Albright, our insider, joined me, whatever it was, a week ago or something. And he talked about he could totally see Jets Kyler Murray happening. And like I said, we'll cut that up and post that up on the YouTube channel and do some work on that. But yeah, I'm not really interested in Kyler Murray. I guess it depends on the value. If he just gets straight up cut, which is certainly possible, then Okay. The Jets could just sign him because I think the Justin Fields experience is over. They probably got to sign and bring in a new veteran quarterback from that perspective. So, yeah, I'm all for staying far away from Kyler Murray. But hey, if he's all the way out there, then sign me up for that. Let's see here. We got Matt from Auburn, Matthew Bates on our YouTube channel. Saints have 2 wins also. Who dat? Yeah, for sure. Salute
He's
to
a
the
Saints
Saints
fan, isn't he? Right?
He is. He is a Saints fan, and I picked the Saints this past week against the Panthers. So, cha-ching! Very nice. I just sent out our NFL pick sheet for the week, and we'll find out where everyone stands in the standings coming up on Friday's show.
Yeah. God, I'm struggling, man. Struggling to get these much over 500 weeks. Where's my 12-2 week or something, man? Oh my God, just not.
Yeah. So we'll see if it comes down the line there for you. I see William Aimley says, I'm not a fantasy player, baseball nor football, and there's much more beyond the basketball, hockey, and everything else. I would say, again, I talk about this with Joe Bartle every once in a while on the show, that if all of us in the universe, obviously me and Lurch are big fantasy football players, if each of us can get one new player to fantasy football that had not played before, I think it's a great world. So,
tell
Bill,
me Al's story. I mean, for someone like William who says, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not a fantasy guy, and I never played in the league or whatever," I'm going to tell you this, William. All you have to do is get in one good league, and you will be hooked. Tell him the
100%.
Al story. We have a guy named Al Swierdowski. Al, a lot of times he might even be watching right now. He listens to us a lot and watches us a lot, and he's often in the comments. Tell him the story about Al.
100%. So, yeah, Big Al, as we call him, has been involved in our radio show forever, mostly interacting on our Facebook Messenger. That's the way that he has chosen to communicate. So that's always how we know him. He's also in the song for his Facebook messaging, right? Didn't he make it in the lyrics for that?
He did make it in the lyrics. Yeah, Al got in the lyrics. Yes, he did.
Yeah. So they're very nice. You guys can see that in our video section, also in our playlist for the final radio tour. Goodbye. Anywho, long story short, he's heard about all our fantasy football happenings on the show, but he wanted in, but he had never done it before. And he told me, he reached out to me privately and said, he's sort of nervous because, I don't want to be, I don't want to clown around and people don't know. I want to learn it, but how do you learn it? I'm just like, well, join the league and just figure it out. Get your hands dirty. You
don't want to swim with the sharks, right? Everybody else has a leg up. They've been doing it for years. It's learnable. It's totally learnable. 100%. And you learn by making mistakes. We all made mistakes, and we all, by the way, experts that we might be, have good and bad seasons. I mean, I'm having this epically good season. I have no idea why. I mean, I drafted some good players, I guess. I've made some good moves, but there is a great deal of randomness and luck in fantasy, and that just goes with the territory.
Yeah, and so I would just say, Bill, William, that I hope you give it a whirl one of these years. Again, you can reach out to me privately. A lot of my social media, William.
Try to get in one of our leagues.
100%. Get on the list, and opening happens all the time. We'll get you in a league, and you can test out the waters, and it's just really fun. It's so whatever your team is. I know, Bill, you're a Jets fan, and also a Mets fan and all these other things, that when your team stinks, sometimes it can be difficult. You're going through a season, you're like, man, this stinks. Fantasy football gives you another reason to watch, another reason to be invested. And so I highly recommend it. Give it a whirl, give it a try. And I think it's a lot of fun. If you don't like it, then so be it. You're not going to be forced to continue to do it. But I would highly recommend you at least give it a whirl and see. And there's a lot of fantasy football content out there. I buy the magazines every year, listen to the podcast, all that stuff. But whether you do my craziness of doing all that, or you're just a casual fan, either way, you can do very well in fantasy football. Lurch told the Bill the Produce Guy story. He drafted a whole team and made minimal moves all year. He won the championship. Some people that do a million moves, i.e. Jamie the FedEx guy in our comment section, has only one on an asterisk. So, it doesn't always equate. A lot of moves doesn't equate to championships, or no moves means losing. So, you guys can go through the process. So, long story short, William, I hope you do try it one day and then test it out for yourself. I hate when a new movie comes out, Lurch, and then I don't get the chance to see it on premiere night, and I hear what other people are saying. They're like, that movie sucked. Don't even bother watching it. And there's some people that listen and go, I guess I shouldn't see the movie. No, I want to see the movie myself and make my own judgment. So I hope you do that for fantasy football as well, William.
All right. Fair enough. But yeah, I think, William, if you try it, especially if you get in with the right group,
of course,
you're going to love it. You're going to end up loving it. You're going to say, and I'll tell you what fantasy has done for me over the years. And that goes all the way back to when I was doing fantasy baseball in the old ages.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. You learn the league. So you say, I'm not great. I don't know all the players. I don't know everything. Fantasy is a great way to learn the players in the league because you start following these fringe guys. Like every week, I'm in the waiver wire going, who is this guy? Who's he play for? Oh, let me see what he's done the last few weeks. Oh, wow. He had 12 points and 13 points the week before. No wonder people are chasing this guy, And then I start doing an investigation. Who is he? Is he somebody that I want to try to acquire on my team? So you learn about the whole league. When you're looking to make trades with other teams, you got to look at their roster. You got to look at your roster. You got to try and make a compare and contrast, and you learn about their players. You learn about your own players. Boy Green, what's going on? You got a
breaking news.
All right.
News.
Well, let's
oh
go.
my goodness. All right, so 1 second, I'm getting it up on our screen here. There's breaking news in the NFL, and this, speaking of fantasy, this sucks. Just in seconds ago, Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. underwent surgery for appendicitis and is out for at least this week and possibly longer. So an appendectomy there for old Marvin Harrison Jr. And for anyone who has him, and I do, unfortunately, in a few leagues, I'm going to have to immediately pivot and backpedal here. That a star receiver that, by the way, has been playing very, very well recently, all of a sudden, boom, just like that, he's out, and you got to make dramatic changes. So, wow. News just coming in. I will be honest, when I saw it and then in the middle of my process of getting it on the screen for you guys, I thought it said out for at least a month. And I'm like, oh, dear God. But a week, that still sucks too, but it's better than a month, I guess. But that breaking news.
A week or two. Nowadays, unless there's some kind of complication, having your appendix removed is a very common surgery, and usually you don't have any problems coming out of it, and you usually kind of back to yourself pretty quickly. So again, playing football is another story, but yeah, I bet you it's maybe 2 weeks and he's back, but that's an unexpected injury, right? The guy doesn't even get hurt on the field, right? Okay. Now you got a guy suddenly who a lot of people are starting. I have him on my Chumps League team, so I'll have to make an adaptation there. And I get myself another receiver. I'm already running low on receivers. I guess back to the waiver wire, my friend.
Yeah, that could happen pretty quick for people.
Yeah.
So,
wow. I don't know if you popped this one out on the screen while I stepped away there, Boy Green, but the Lincoln Riley play. Did you hear about this?
I've not.
I put this up. So Lincoln Riley, okay, in the college game, had his punter, and the third string quarterback wear the same jersey. Okay. Now in college, you can have two guys wearing the same jersey.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
The punter always wears, I think it was like 18 or 19, right? That was his number. Yes, and then he put that number on the third string quarterback. Mm-hmm. And probably all week, if not for a couple of weeks, they were running a trick play, essentially, with the third string quarterback. Okay. Posing as the punter. Mm-hmm. And in college, it's legal that you can, as long as you put it on the game's, that day's roster, okay? So there's an official game day roster that you have to fill out before the game, and you have to list every guy on the roster with the number they're wearing that day.
Okay.
You put them on the roster legally. Problem is, a lot of opposing head coaches, don't look at that game day roster because they've been looking at the roster earlier in the week when they've been scouting the team and so on and so forth, and they basically know who's wearing what number. But you have the ability in college to change it up. So Riley saw that little glitch, was working on a play with the third string quarterback, and then at the appropriate time, it was a critical moment in the game, he ran the third string quarterback out there, posed him as the punter, and then they ran the play, and of course they completed the pass, got the first down, or I don't remember if it turned into a touchdown or what it was, and they won the game, all right? And it was because he used this little trick, all right, that you can change a guy's number as long as you report it on the game day roster. Just one roster that every team has to put in. I don't know if it's an hour before the game or something.
Sure, right.
And he put that change on that roster. He had full intention, of course, of this guy wearing that probably for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks while they were practicing this play. And he called it at the appropriate moment, and it worked big time. And the other team was like, whoa. Like, how can the punter throw it that good, right? Because obviously it's a third string quarterback. He could throw a pass. So.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Pretty cool, man. College football.
Hey, all the quirks. Which there you go. Hey, do you want any piece? I heard those rumors a while back. You want any piece of Lincoln Riley in the NFL lurch, huh?
He's an interesting guy. I mean, he was being bandied about for a while as a guy that, would, be interesting. I mean, look, we're talking about the Giants job right now. We're not just talking about any job. And I'm not taking a flyer on a college coach. So, I would take a flyer. I don't even want to call it a flyer. Like I said, I would be okay if the Giants end up hiring Lane Kiffin. But the reason I'm okay with Lane Kiffin is because of the pedigree, number one, his father and where he comes from. Number two, he did have, albeit a brief one, an experience in the NFL. All right. He's worked with other NFL caliber coaches or guys that themselves have been in the NFL. And guys like Nick Saban, for instance, when he was with Alabama as their offensive coordinator. And now he's been a head coach at several places and won everywhere he's gone. And I do think ultimately, we'll see if it really is his passion or his desire, but I think ultimately this guy wants to finish it off in the NFL. And he's now 50 years old. He was once this cocky kid, who got his first job in the NFL as a head coach at 32 years old. Come on, man. All right. And I think he's matured. I think he's changed. I think he has a different moxie than he once had, and he knows how to win. And he also has a relationship with the Giants' current quarterback because he is the head coach at Ole Miss, and he coached Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. So they already have a working relationship. They see offense, dare I say, through the same prism. That's attractive to me when you're trying to create continuity and when you believe you found your franchise quarterback. So that's why I'm in favor of Lane Kiffin right now if the Giants were to think about hiring him.
Okay, well we'll
Lincoln
see.
Riley, no thanks. Just not, he's a great college coach. I have no clue what he'll be as an NFL coach. I have way more faith in what Kiffin would be versus what Lincoln Riley would be, again, based on the current situation.
By the way, I'm seeing Badshaw is welcoming in. We'd love to have you in the league, Will. So there you go. Reach out and maybe we'll see. He said maybe I'll give it a try. So yeah, reach out and I can put you on the list. And again, spots open all the time in all our leagues. So
yeah.
But again, just in case you guys missed it, if you guys are just coming in again, Marvin Harrison Jr. underwent surgery for appendicitis and is out for at least this week and possibly longer. So just to throw that out there in the universe, a breaking news just came in.
And did you talk about that Mac Jones thing while I was?
I have not. No, what's that?
Yeah, so let me pop this up. William, pop this up. Could Mac Jones be a bridge quarterback for us? Talking about the Jets, he seems okay, which is better than what we had the last 3 to 4 years. Would you consider that? I mean, could Mac Jones work in New York, even if it's as a bridge quarterback?
Two things here. I think Mac Jones is a jerk. That doesn't necessarily answer anything with a question. I just wanted to throw that out there.
He declined an autograph from you sometime? At some point?
No. He's just like he's been sort of. There's a history. If you give it the old Google or YouTube search of him being a very dirty player, doing weird things like it's Grayson Allen-ish.
Oh, he's got a little Grayson Allen in him.
He does of tripping players, kicking them in the junk. Like very weird stuff. Again, there's a whole highlight clip which goes to show you this Grayson Allen-like nature. And here's the other thing. The 49ers are smart. Mac Jones is not a free agent after this year. They sent him to a 2-year deal for nothing money. So to be honest, San Francisco, if they feel like it, they could trade him for probably a nice little price. And like, look at them. Shanahan continues to be a quarterback factory, bringing in wounded birds with a broken wing, fixing them and shipping them off for all kinds of things. So let's keep that in mind. So no, I don't believe so. I don't think the Jets would give up an asset, which you would have to do in any sort of a Mac Jones world. I think the Jets, to be honest, should absolutely cut ties with Justin Fields, eat the $10 million in guaranteed money lost. He sucks. He's awful. Yeah. And I would eat the money and just restart completely at the quarterback position in 2026 if it was up to me. And hell, he might be starting a quarterback for the Jets tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football because of the short week. And even though he's been terrible, so I hope he plays well because I'm a Jets fan. But God, it's been tough to watch.
See, but I would draft a guy and again get a vet to at least.
I agree. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Don't stick the rookie right in there. It's just not great. Hey, Badshaw got his first trade offer last week, I guess from Indy Jets.
Oh boy.
A little jet on jet action. Boy Green instantly rejected it, and thank God you did, Badshaw. If you had brought this to the fantasy show on Fridays, Joe Bartle, myself, and Boy Green all would have said, "Get out of here, Indy." Saquon Barkley, I know he's a little down in the mouth. He's not playing well. The Eagles have forgotten how to utilize him. I just spoke about it earlier in today's broadcast, but there's no way I'm trading him for Romeo Dobbs and Chuba Hubbard. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Now, here's something, Badshaw, you don't know that I'm about to bring to the table. Indy, if he's the one who did this, he pulled the Jamie the FedEx guy. This same offer was in my DMs. And not even just
Really?
DMs. It was sent. It was sitting. I could have accepted it. So that means that Indy, if he's the one who did this, I'll have to double check if that was him or it was someone else. But we're in the same league, Bad Shot. So that has to be. It was the same person whoever did it. But they sent that exact same offer for
It
what's his name?
wasn't Barkley, so
No, I have Bucky Irving on my team and sent
Okay.
it to me so he sent this same offer probably to 11 of the 12 teams in the league. Hey, whoever accepts it first gets it, baby. What the hell? I don't want any part of Chubba Hubba's backup butt. And Romeo Dobbs, he's one of a million receivers in Green Bay. No thanks. So, Badshaw, I'll try to look at your team to see if we can, do your first trade. But like putting that aside, like great instincts. You're like, you haven't done a trade before and you got a first one and your instant gut is like, oh God, no. Great. Because that's how you should have responded.
That was a good instinct on that one. Absolutely.
Disgusting.
And by the way, you mentioned, who was the player you mentioned there? You mentioned somebody.
Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irving. Yeah, I heard some news on Bucky Irving this morning.
Okay, good.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
Oh, geez.
The word on the street is he might not make it back this season.
What?
Now, nothing official. This was just like, again, the beat reporter and somebody, but yeah, that they're being extremely cagey and that whatever this injury he had, which, he landed on the IR, right?
No. He's just that would have helped because then I would have been able to plug him into IR and do other things. I've been having to hold his carcass, his limp body on my bench.
I'm hearing bad things that this is going to be at least several more weeks and potentially he could be lost for the season. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. It's been very cryptic down there in Tampa.
Maybe I should have accepted that trade.
Yeah,
Damn it!
It might not have been bad because he may not be back either for a while or at all. I mean,
terrible.
When you get that, when you sit on a guy, so yeah, okay. Anyway, so just a little again, maybe again, that's something I heard this morning.
Yeah, Lurch's sources.
Nothing official, but I don't have him actually on any of my teams, but it's
good for you, man.
I was like, man, a lot of people have been sitting on him for a lot of weeks, and he's a good player, man. Like,
when healthy,
he's in there. He's starting.
Runs the ball, catches it.
He's RB1 at worst, RB2 in your lineup. I mean, he's a good player. I thought about drafting him. I just didn't get him in any of the leagues. But yeah, something's going on. Whatever this injury is with him, it seems to be turning a little worse or not getting better, as expected. So I don't know. They may end up shutting him down, but nothing official on that right now. But just be aware of that if you do have Bucky Irving.
So try to trade him is what you're saying immediately?
Well, you'd always do that. You want to get out from under something. Go ahead and, find some poor sucker who doesn't pay attention,
Okay, great.
You go from there. But
should I feel bad about that if I'm able to offload him on someone and then it gets announced later this week that he's out for the season?
Listen, paying attention is part of this game of fantasy.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, you play with whatever ethics you have. Boy Green and I don't have the same ethical codes. That's for sure. All right. But I would say that it's your fault if you're not paying attention. Anytime anyone ever offers you a trade, you at the very least, before you just click accept, better at least go online and just make sure that the players that you're getting or player that you're getting is healthy. There's not any new news. Like, okay, let's take Marvin Harrison. All right.
Sure.
We just heard this. Okay.
Yeah.
If one of us right now could go on our fantasy teams and offer somebody something dumb for Harrison,
Yeah.
And just say, hey, Marvin Harrison, I'll give me Marvin Harrison. Give me, running back 2 on your team, or give me, wide receiver 3 because, you're in a spot you need a win this week, and you ship Harrison off. All right. I know Harrison looks like it's just going to be a couple of weeks at worst, but the person doesn't know that. They go, oh my God, Marvin Harrison for that guy. Yeah. Click. And then, next couple of weeks, Harrison's off. Oh, and the surgery, there were complications. Looks like he's going to be out 5 weeks now. Who just got screwed, right?
Yeah.
Why'd you get screwed? Because you didn't take the time to just, read the headlines, double check on your player, make sure nothing's up. I always do that before I make a trade. I don't care who it is. I don't care if I've been talking about the guy for 2 weeks. I will always do that final check before I hit that accept button. You owe it to yourself. And if you get got, it's your fault. You got because you didn't pay attention. That's the one thing in fantasy you have to do. Take the time. The resources are great. You go on ESPN's fantasy site if that's where you operate. We use Yahoo. Yahoo has updates on the players pretty close to when they have. This thing on Harrison will be out soon. Go to Marvin Harrison right now.
It's already available. He's
ready
out.
Okay. So you just on the app that we play on, you touch Marvin Harrison's name, okay, whatever roster he's on, or you just go look him up in the player sheet. All right. You click on his name, it'll give you the latest news. It's already out. He's got he's
appendicitis.
Okay. I can't touch him right now. Or if I want him, I know him. It's a 2 to 3 week down the road. He's back in my lineup. Okay, I'll make that trade knowing that. Okay, but knowing I'm not going to have him for the next week or two.
Yeah.
You can always make a trade for an injured player, but you better know about the injury. A lot of people have made trades for Bucky Irving before this got worse and worse and worse. Now they might be regretting that. They might be living in the temple of regret. Or the people that kept him, all right, and said, oh, he's going to be back, and he's not back because they didn't put him on the IR. They just kept hoping and hoping and hoping, and he's just been sitting out there in the wind. Meanwhile, other guys on that Tampa running attack are getting all the carries. No good.
Awful.
So there you have it. All right, BG. I mean, look, we've got a great week coming up this week. We are going to dabble for the first time this season in Syracuse basketball land. They've already played a couple of games. The regular season is underway. So for those of you that love SU basketball, we'll start covering them regularly. We're going to do right now for the next month or so, every 2 weeks, a check-in with our Syracuse basketball insider. His name is Neil Adler, and he'll join us for the first time later today. We'll drop that a little bit later, right? We're going to drop that later this afternoon after I don't know what our schedule is.
Possibly tomorrow.
Either later today or tomorrow at the latest.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Yep.
Neil Adler will get dropped. We're going to interview him later this afternoon about Syracuse basketball. Carmelo Anthony's son, by the way, Cayenne Anthony, is on Syracuse's team this year, and he's off to a very interesting start. So we'll definitely talk with Neil about that. We've got our usuals, Jake Asman later this afternoon. And we'll drop that right away for you. Update on the Jets, the 2-game winning streak, who's starting at QB this weekend, any other injuries of notes. Obviously, we'll talk to him about Garrett Wilson's situation now that he's going to be out for a few weeks. Anything else going on the Jets grapevine, that's coming up later this afternoon. Joe Bartle, the usual fantasy bit on Friday. So we'll do that with Joe, 10:30. That'll be our next live show on sports. And don't forget tonight. I didn't forget Boy Green tonight.
Oh, okay.
Right, 9:45. Brett LaBelle is back in the house. He's back from Europe, probably from his perch in Boston, although who knows? Brett's a traveler. He could be anywhere. He'd probably be California or something.
Could be.
All right, but Brett will be somewhere, and he'll join us for our usual Survivor after show / after party. We will break down tonight's Survivor episode. We do that every Wednesday night about 9:45, about 10, 15 minutes after the episode ends. So it's like immediate reaction to tonight's Survivor episode. So get into the TV show Survivor and then join us. We break down the episode. You can get in the comments, ask Brett questions, have some fun with us. So that's going on tonight at 9:45. Anything else to report, Boy Green?
Yeah, 2 things here. First off, Brett lost his first person, but he wasn't on the show last week to eat it. So hopefully he loses even more blood tonight. That would be terrific because we gotta play some catch up on that from that perspective. And then the other thing is NFL insider Matt Lombardo for our NFL picks against the spread. That'll also be coming up on Friday.
Will it be Batman?
Batman, maybe it should be.
Apparently, Lombardo, a Batman, is better than Lombardo. And
that's what these statistics say.
Apparently, they're the same person.
Could be.
When one's picking,
allegedly.
The others, when one's picking is a lot better when the other's picking.
That's it. Hey, if I had an alternate personality that was picking better, I'd be jumping I'd be on the movie Split, and I'd be jumping to whoever was on the limelight for that one. Which, by the way, great movie. I got to rewatch it. I haven't seen that in a while.
What's the movie? Split.
Split. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
Oh wow, it's a phenomenal movie. You should see it. It's also I think there's a series of them. I think there's multiple movies. It's super deep. And anywho, this guy who's somehow deranged, they show these scenes that are in his head, so it's not real, but it's like a dark blank warehouse, and there's a spotlight, and it's on one of these people. Now he is the same person like 12 times over, but there's different personalities, and the light shifts to whoever the person is, and that whoever that person is character takes over his body, and it's them. So it's this multiple personality disorder. It's a fascinating deep dive into the psycho and everything.
Yeah,
so,
and it's M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh my God, yes.
He's in it too.
It's terrific.
He often appears in his own films and series. And
what a movie.
Yeah, and James McAvoy is the star.
He's so good.
You know what? I have seen clips of this, but I have not seen
this movie. I'm telling you, I know you normally recommend movies to me. I recommend a movie. You will absolutely absolutely find
Okay.
this as a
All right, I'm
marvelous
on it.
find.
I'm on it. I'll get
Okay,
that in
good.
the next week. I think I'll be
Okay,
able to
great.
squeeze
I'll
that
hear
in
a
here
rep-
sometime.
I'm looking forward to that report card from you.
Okay,
coming up
a
in the
report
program.
it is. All
Yeah.
right, so folks, again, we greatly appreciate you joining us as always. If you're not already a subscriber, I don't know what you're waiting for, but right there, youtube.com/MC Show Digital. All right, become a subscriber. We're giving away a golf club here. I'm going to go grab it.
Here we go.
Oh, all right, here she
Nice.
blows. Come on, get this thing out of my bedroom, would you please? I keep tripping over it. All right, it's a Cleveland Highbore XL driver, brand new, still in the packaging. All right, wrapper still enclosed. All right, it was donated by our friends at Play It Again Sports. All right, it is gorgeous. It is fantastic. If you can get the club on the ball, it's guaranteed to hit it at least 250 yards down the fairway.
Wow.
Even Boy Green, if he hit the center of this club, it's going 250 plus. All right. So that's going out the door once we get to 500 subscribers. So get in there and subscribe right now. I may do something incentive laden, Boy Green. I've got a couple of things up my sleeve. So maybe by the Friday show, we'll talk about it off air.
Okay.
But I was looking at that Anchorman bobblehead set that I have sitting downstairs.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do something incentive laden.
Wow.
Or if you can get us some extra
grease the wheels.
subscribers,
Okay.
I'll give the person who gets us the most and he gives the most recommendations out there.
I
Maybe
like
I'll give
that.
him the set of the Anchorman bobbleheads
Wow.
minus poor Ron Burgundy. You'll have to
Yeah.
go find Ron on your own. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have Ron. I gave Ron away many years ago, but maybe you can get yourself.
You'll get the majority of the set. I mean, that's pretty nice. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's a very, very cool set. So, we got to do some incentive laden stuff, man. I got to get people motivated.
Good idea.
Because we're trying to climb that ladder as fast as we can.
Yeah, man.
And really love to get there before the holidays. Plus, what a great holiday gift. Even if you're not a golfer, give it to your grandpa, your dad, your mom, whoever plays golf in your family. They will appreciate it. Drivers are not cheap. Okay, you get something that has never been hit, and you're paying, 300 plus. The nicest of the nice drivers, it costs you $600. Mm-hmm. So this one's worth about $400, and it's a really, really nice driver. I would definitely take it out and play it myself. Matter of fact, I may do that if you guys can get us to 500 sooner rather than later. I might just take that whole thing off the table and own it. But anyway, so please subscribe if you haven't already. All right, folks, we do appreciate it. And we will see you live for Survivor tonight, 9:45. Jake Asman dropping later today for all you Jets nuts, so you don't want to miss that. All right, and then we're back Friday for our live show with Joe Bartle at 10:30. All things fantasy football. Come with your questions and annoy Joe. We love annoying Joe on Friday morning, so we'll do all that, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.